Hey guys, Comet here. Welcome to episode 12 in my Overly Scienced series. Now, first off, I want to thank Apollo Rodriguez for single-handedly motivating me through this entire series. I really appreciate the comments you're leaving. Now, in the last episode, we transitioned from steam rockets into petroleum rockets and started visiting some of these close planets, or close asteroids here to bring back some space materials. Now I've brought back a little bit of fullerene here, so I'm going to set up a molecular forge so that I can start making supercoolant with that fullerene. The molecular forge is one of the few buildings that is 5 tiles tall, so I'm going to have to deconstruct some of these ladders here, and to power it, I'm just going to continue that wire over there. I'm going to go ahead and queue up some supercoolant here. What we need for that is fullerene, which we got from space, gold, we have a gold volcano, and petroleum. We have plenty of petroleum. I'm going to put this on forever, because if we use up all of our fullerene, it's not like we're going to need it for anything else. You can only use fullerene to make supercoolant. Since we do need petroleum, not in a pipe, but the dupes have to deliver it in bottles, what I'm going to do is set up a little thing over here using a pitcher pump and a vent. With a little bit of automation, I can control that vent so that it won't overflow. Petroleum will not overpressurize a vent like water will. If I were to be pumping water into this spot here, it would make it up to this level right here, and then it would overpressurize the vent, because water stacks up to 1,000 kilograms per tile before it pushes up into the next one, and a vent overpressurizes at a liquid vent overpressurizes at 1,000 kilograms. But petroleum only stacks up to like 800 or so, and so it will bubble up into the next tile before it will overpressurize this, so I need a way to shut the vent off. So as long as this vent here, or as long as this hydrosensor here, is below 1 kilogram, we can open the vent. So here's our first batch of supercoolant being made right now. I ran out of power. Why did I run out of power? Oh, right, all of my petroleum... Okay, once this fills up, because I'm pumping the petroleum straight out of this, I have none in reserve, so I'm actually running out of power. Once that tank up there fills up, these tanks here will fill up, and these can run again. This is why you always keep your coal generators as backup. Now, alongside fullerene, I also need to bring back some of this niobium so that I can start opening up some of this up here, and then I can put in some solar panels, and that should supplement some of the power that I'm losing. So we'll go ahead and open this silo right here. I'm going to send this rocket out to bring back some niobium. And off it goes. Manually close that, and hopefully I have power back before the rocket returns so these doors open in time. Unpowered doors with this space scanner setup won't work, because the doors take too long to open. And actually, since I'm on the topic of space, Francis John released a video recently going over a lot of the space equipment. I'll leave a link to that in the description, and I'll put a little card up in the top. If you find my explanations insufficient, you could check out that video. That may give you some more ideas. This rocket I'm gonna send back to this first carbon asteroid here, because I need a little bit more fullerene. I want to make enough supercoolant so that I can start up this liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen facility here. But because of how much power this is actually going to draw, I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is put in some solar panels, and that would mean that I'd need to put in my robo-miners, so I'm going to have to bring back a lot of niobium here so that I can make thermium. And thermium is also made in the molecular forge. Once I have some niobium over here, the recipe will become an option in here. You may have also noticed that videos are becoming more infrequent, and that's just because of how much waiting I have to do now. I queue up a bunch of stuff for my dupes to do, and then I have to wait for them to go and build it, and then I can record that explanation. And so the further into this I go, the more time I spend waiting, which translates into less footage. What I'm going to do now is plan out how much space I'm going to need below the rockets here for the Regolith Melter heatsink. I'm going to need about 20 tiles, but I want it to line up with my ladders over here, because this shows where all of my floors are. So if I go down to this one right here, that will give me 22 tiles. So I'm going to extend this ladder out here and then cap off the whole map with insulated tile. I did a little bit of work off camera putting in this volcano tamer, but since I've built 2 of them already, I figured you didn't need to see me build a 3rd. And then as I go over this way, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to get through this ocean here. The reason for this is that I need to punch up through and come out in the center through this so that I can set up my battery box thing up here so I know how much room I have to work with. And it sounds like a rocket just returned. Yes, it did. Okay. And it looks like there's another geyser right here, or vent. I don't know what this is. Let's see. There's a trick you can do. If you do a yellow alert priority on this, it will tell you what it is over here. So that's a saltwater geyser. I think this is going to be a first for me. I have a feature above my space cutoff. I may actually deconstruct this. Let's see. This one will be below. Let's see what this one is. That's another saltwater geyser. Yeah, I'm just gonna deconstruct this. Space mission complete. Oh, I need to send this one. Close that. Let's see. This one... Oh, there's still a lot remaining. It shows you how much you can bring back. So with 2 cargo bays, they can bring back 1,000 kilograms each, and resources available on this asteroid is 10,000 kilograms. So I can send 5 more trips before I deplete the asteroid, and I'll have to wait for the resources to regenerate. But let's see, this should have brought back some niobium. Yes, it did. So let's go to the molecular forge over here. Thermium. We need tungsten. Okay, tungsten is made down here from wolframite. So I'm going to put that on forever and forever. So I'm going to convert all of the wolframite I have right now into tungsten. And if it's enough to make... I need that to go away. If it's enough to make all of the thermium that I need, then that would be perfect. If it's not, then I'm going to have to build a tungsten or insulation melter, which I have a tutorial for. It's just a pain to set up. I really hope I don't have to do that. So it looks like Frankie here is making our first batch of thermium. Yep, thermium right there. Let's see, let's go back up to the top. I need to figure out the spacing on these robo-miners here. So checking my old map, it looks like I put them right here. I have this here, and this needs to be airflow tiles, because I have a layer of petroleum here, and it would just fall straight through the mesh tiles. And the first robo-miner goes here. But this switch is in the way, and actually, all of this automation wire is in the way. So I need to move. We can put this one in there. And then this one can go, I think, right here. And that should be fine. And then I'll get rid of that. I will cut that. And cut that. Now for power. Power is going to be a problem. These doors up here are eventually going to be powered by a wire that powers the doors that are going to be here, and these doors get their power from the battery box that's going to be over here. So for now, what I'm going to do is get the power over there, like this. Because I need this space right here for a heavy wire bridge. So the first RoboMiner goes right here. And then the Auto Sweeper, also made of thermium, goes right here. And then I kind of just repeat this pattern all the way down. Now, this space right here, I have two options. I can use either an automatic dispenser and block off the two sides so that only the auto sweepers can access the dispenser, because otherwise the dupes will try and come and drop stuff off in the dispenser. Or I can use a conveyor loader, which would also then have to be made out of thermium. And a rocket just returned during my explanation. Wait, oh, I'm missing doors! No! Oh, I have no power, so the doors didn't open. So the rocket just broke them. Okay, why do I have no power? Right here. I need them to finish this. For some reason, they do not want to build this, even though I have enough. You know what? Actually, I think it's counting this iron here. It shouldn't be, though, because I don't have access to it. We can do a quick test. I'm gonna force all of the items on this rail out of here. And we should get some iron up here. If they go and build it after this, then I'll know that it counts this iron here as being part of my resources over here. Okay, that should be enough. And it looks like, yeah, a dupe just came over and grabbed some. Okay, well, that's good to know. Here they come. Now they're building it. Doors have power. I need to figure out how to get up here to replace these doors. I think I can do something like this, and then I don't think they can reach that one. I'll have to come in from this side. Do that, and then I think they can reach it from there. If not, I can deconstruct this tile as well. Oh, but they can't even get in here because this Regolith is in the way. It looks like they have access to that, but not this one. Now they should have access to this one once they build the ladder. But anyway, back to what I was explaining here. I can use either a automatic dispenser or a conveyor loader. And I think what I'm going to do, because I'm still kind of building all this up here, is use conveyor loaders. And then once I get everything finalized, I take that back. I don't need to be shipping anything yet, because I can't do anything with the Regolith. So I'm going to salvage the thermium from these, and I can decide on what I'm going to do later. Because right now, really all I need is access to the sky so that I can get solar panels in, and that doesn't require regolith extraction, just regolith mining. So I'm going to put in some drywall so that the petroleum can't escape. And then I also put in some temperature shift plates just to provide more thermal mass up here. But if I'm going to be opening this up to space so that I can get some sunlight, I need to make sure that I can actually build solar panels. So I have 0 glass right now. I'm going to set up a glass forge somewhere down here. Now the glass that comes out of a glass forge is liquid, so it's going to be very hot. So I'm going to use insulated piping here out of... I don't want to use up all of my ceramic yet, actually. Let me use obsidian. And then I'm going to drop it down into this little collection spot right here. And then that'll get my glass going, and then I can get some solar panels. Doing some mapping, I've realized that this actually needs to be moved down 2 blocks, because if I have the top of this here, and I want to maintain a flush line across the top, I'm not going to have enough room for solar panels and my dupes to run underneath. And then on top of that, the telescope won't fit either. So if I move this whole thing down 2 blocks, then I can preserve all 3 of those. That will also give me a spot to fit all of the battery boxes, and then the power transformers, they're gonna go right in here somewhere. Where's the center? They'll be right here, and those will power all of the doors. And I'm gonna need to put the doors in so that I can put in the solar panels. So there's a lot of infrastructure I need to get set up before I can actually start getting power from the nuclear reactor that's at the center of our solar system. So I have a bajillion things queued up now here, so I'm going to step away for a while and then come back when all of this infrastructure is put in. Alright, a game of League, a video on the YouTubes, a glass of milk, and a half a pack of Oreos later, my dupes have finished all of this up here. So I've been putting in my robo-miners here. I've also gone ahead and removed all of the gravitas ruins here, and I've put in this ceramic cap on the top of the whole map. So I plan on excavating everything above that point as well. Well, and everything below it, but everything above it will be at the mercy of the space biome. So the next step, now that I can see where the middle is going to hit up here, I can put in the space scanner, or the space scanners, plural, and the telescope. So the telescope, I can put it at a maximum of this height right here, and that is centered. I am out of ceramic at the moment, so I'm going to use mesh tiles, because I plan on having a steam turbine box right here, and then that will cool some batteries that are going to be below it. And then the batteries will be what power the whole base. And then once I get the batteries in place, I can put in the solar panels, switch this over to doors, and then start harvesting power from the sun. I use 4 steam turbines, so I'm just going to use these to map out how big I need it to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in these space scanners. Now these scanners here, I'm going to link them all up similarly to how I did these, and then they will open and close these doors up here. So these will be detecting for meteorites, and then the ones over here are detecting for the rockets. So I'm going to connect all of these up, and then I'm going to need to jump over that spot right there. So I can put in a automation wire bridge like that. And then this is where I need the NOT gate, not on the ones detecting the rockets, but on the ones detecting the meteorites. That will invert the signal. And so once any of these scanners down here detect an incoming object, which they'll be set to meteorites, so when they detect a meteorite, it'll go ahead and close all of these doors that will be up here. So I can drag this across, and I think it goes all the way to right there. This one on this side is going to go all the way across as well, and it stops somewhere in there, I think. So I need a way for my dupes to get up here. I'm going to go ahead and put in a ladder here, and a ladder on this side. Oh, and also, I put in these, you probably noticed that, but I've removed this exit here, so they're forced to now use these transit tube access. Now for the solar panels, I have 2 options. I can put them right here at this height, or I could put them right here at this height. I want to make sure that I maintain 2 tiles between the ceiling here and the floor of the next spot. That way my dupes can run across the top. And I think it would look best if these were as high as they could go. So that will leave 3 tiles between the ceiling and the solar panels. And then this, I need to extend this so that they can actually get up to build those. I'm gonna drag this all the way across. Let's see, the final door will be here. It starts here because I need this to never be entombed by Regolith. So the first door is gonna go here, and take up these 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. So this solar panel will have complete access to the sky there. And then I'll just mirror that on the other side over here. And now for power, I'm just going to use a heavy watt conductive wire to string everything together. So I'll drag this across, come down here, go over, and then I'll grab this side as well. I actually really need some ceramic right now, so I'm gonna switch as much as I can of this to Mafic, because it is the second best insulator behind ceramic. I'm not counting insulation, because that's a perfect insulator. So I'll replace all of this with Mafic, and then I'll use the ceramic to build up this steam turbine room up here, because I really need these batteries in place so that I can open and close the doors I'm going to be putting in. And that will then also power not just these doors, but the doors over here that control the rockets. As you can see, these aren't powered right now, so I'm not sending any rockets out, so I can't make any more robo-miners because I don't have any niobium to turn into thermium. So I'm going to deconstruct all the way to about the center. So now I have to hurry up and get these doors in here before another meteor shower decides to show up. And even though I don't have materials here, you'll notice that I am building the doors. If you click on it and then press B to copy, even though you don't have the resources for it, you could still build it. That only works with bunker doors, bunker tiles, and I think plastic ladders and solar panels. So you can kind of see the robo miner concept here. It will just daisy chain all the way across. This one can't be buried, so it will always be exposed. It will dig up this one, and then this one will dig up this one, and then this one will dig up this one, and it will just go all the way across to the center, and then a similar thing is mirrored on the other side. It will dig its way back to the center this way. I've recovered some of my ceramics. I'm going to go ahead and put in the floor here, and then it's 3 tiles, and then the floor for the aquatuners. And then there's going to be a giant battery box that takes up about this much space here. So it's going to look something like this, where I have mesh tiles that are there's 2 tiles between each floor of mesh tiles here. There's going to be a power transformer, power transformer, power transformer along the sides that I can pull power out, and then in the core there's going to be batteries. So along the edges, I'm going to put Mafic, I'm going to put drywall made out of Mafic rock, and then for the shift plates, I'm going to use copper. And technically, since I'm in space, I don't need to be making the walls here out of insulated tile, because it's in a vacuum, it's going to keep it insulated. I just prefer having everything look the same. So if there's any part of it that needs insulated tiles, I just go ahead and make everything out of insulated tiles. Same with this build over here. The top up here doesn't need to be insulated tile. The only part that needs to be insulated is this line right here, separating the 2 chambers. Now the question is, how far down do I want this to go? And it is possible to have too many batteries. If you look at smart batteries here, power leak, 400 joules a cycle. That's not very much compared to the jumbo battery, which is 2 kilojoules a cycle, but that is still something you have to take into consideration, because if you just spam batteries across your whole map, you're going to need to put in so much power generation to make up for how much power your batteries are leaking, that it's just not worth it to have a bunch of batteries. So I've decided to stop here at this point. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows of batteries. The power transformer is going to take up 3 tiles on the right side and 3 tiles on the left side. So we can take this, so that's 20, minus 6, that's 14. That allows for 7 batteries per row. And the environment in here will be actively cooled by the aquatuners up here. So that costs 3 aquatuners here. If I look at how I did it before, I have one in the exact center, and then I have one 3 tiles flipped though. And then this one is right here. Now the steam turbines go up here, and these can be made out of lead. Now the question is if I should put temperature shift plates in here or just drywall. These aquatuners are going to be passing supercoolant around, which should help spread out some of the temperature differences. The only thing it would really do is help keep the temperature stable, because temperature shift plates have a lot more mass than drywall. You know what? Why not? Let's do it. Temperature shift plates, here we go. And I'm already out of copper. Okay, well, maybe not. What I do know for certain is that I'm going to need drywall around the edges, so I can go ahead and put that in. And then I will sweep up all this junk. Since this is going to be actively cooled, it doesn't really matter what I make these batteries out of. I'm thinking lead or gold. Now, I have a theoretically infinite amount of gold because of the gold volcano, but I don't have an infinite amount of lead. I do have a whole bunch of it right now, though. These are the decisions I struggle with. Because I don't want to have to break back into this room if I decide later on, oh, I need this lead for something. Well, for now, what I can do with my time is put in all of the other stuff I need to do. So, like, the piping. I can do the piping. I was double checking my old build, and none of these aqua tuners are actually turned. They're all in the original orientation, like this one. So this one, I need to cancel. I need to make sure the white pipe is on the left. So this center aqua tuner is going to cool the steam turbine room up here. And then this aqua tuner and this aqua tuner are going to cool this chamber down here. So I'm going to grab some insulated pipe made of ceramic. I'm going to put in the bypass here. So it goes into the bridge, and then the output from the aqua tuner will go into the output of the bridge. And then it comes down this way. So this one, I will do the same exact thing. So that one will come down to here. And then using aluminum, let's see, how do I want to do this? I can go out one and down. That should give me good coverage. This one comes out one and down. I think I might go out two. If I go out to two, it'll be here and here. That's 3 tiles between. This can come out one. Yeah, that should give me good coverage there. So something like this. And I think it would look better if I tried to hide as much of the piping as possible. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to cancel that. Yeah, that looks good. And then this, I can just run all the way down, over, and all the way back up. Now the steam turbines need vents, so those usually go right in the center of the turbines here. And then I can do something like this with bridges here. And that will allow for a cooling loop right through this spot right here. So I will connect these up to their corresponding bridges, and then connect the bridges up to the vents. Now, alternatively to atmospheric cooling, I could try doing liquid cooling. What I mean by that is putting the steam turbines in a very thin layer of, let's say, petroleum supercoolant or water. Crude oil would work even. And then run the cooling loop through the liquid down here instead of relying on an atmosphere up here. Because filling up this room with an atmosphere is going to be a little bit difficult in space. It does just look a lot better not being submerged in a liquid. I think I'm going to go... yeah, I'll put hydrogen up here. Same for the battery box. So then to get power in and out of this room, I'm going to need some heavy watt conductive joint plates. And then I'm going to connect up these turbines. And I'm being careful not to connect them down the center, because, like I said, I'm going to try and split up the map into the 2 halves. That way I don't overload the heavy watt wire. Believe it or not, this used to overload at 20 kilowatts, so they more than doubled this. And I've still managed to break it on other maps, which is kind of mind-boggling when I think about it. So that's going to be a similar concept I have to look at when powering these aqua tuners here. So since this one is powered from the right here, it's going to belong to the right power spine, and then since this is powered on the left, it's going to be powered by the left power spine. So I can go ahead and deconstruct those two, and that should split up the map. Well, actually, I don't need to do that yet, because there's no way I can overload the wire yet. But I don't want to have to break back into here, so I'm going to do it here. Since this is outside, I don't really care too much about that. I could always break that later. I'm starting to run into some power problems here. My batteries are getting drained, and my coal generators here are turning on, so I really need to get access to the sky right now. So I'm going to put in a temporary power transformer setup here. Needs to be 6 tiles. That way I can get these doors working and get these solar panels working. And normally people don't say to make solar panels until you have a lot of battery capacity, but that's not necessarily true because these petroleum generators won't be working. So instead of storing extra power in batteries, I'll be storing extra power in the form of petroleum inside of these tanks here. So it's like a liquid battery. And then once I need extra power, these generators will consume that extra petroleum as if it were a battery. So these doors draw 120 watts of power. One conductive wire can carry 2000 watts or 2 kilowatts. So let me get a calculator here. So if you take 2000 divided by 120, you can power 16 and 2/3 of a door. So if we count that as 16 doors, and we start from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whoops. Now I have to start over. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if this is the 16th door right here, so let me connect these up together. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 doors over here, and then I'll never have any overloading problems. So this one, I'll bring it down to here, and then I'll jump over that and then carry this over and probably plug in right here. And then this one, the wire for these doors is going to come out of right here when everything's said and done. So this will come up here, jump over that, and then power this. So I don't need to do anything fancy with this one. But this one is going to be powered from this floor, so it will come out 2 tiles instead, then go up right here along here. So I'm going to need to get some water down into here to keep these cool. And then hopefully by the time these start to overheat, I'll have this done and I can just plug the doors into the battery box here. So I'll go ahead and set this to water, priority 9, and then once there's a nice layer in here, I'll go ahead and deconstruct that. And I'm still waiting on some iron so that I can connect this transformer up to the doors over here. And I can't connect up these second set of doors here because I don't have enough robo-miners to clear out for the solar panels. Oh, that looks funny. You can't see the water here because it's on an airflow tile. I thought I was just emptying it out into space. If we go to the liquid overlay, now you can see it. For some reason, you can't really see liquids on top of airflow tiles. Alright, that should be enough water, so I'm going to deconstruct that. I was able to get some more iron and queue this up, and it looks like someone is hurt. Why are my dupes injured? Let's see, where's your health bar? 54, 45. Okay, let's go over here and force the injured ones onto the beds here. Yeah, I think they might have been getting smacked by some poke shells here. Once this finishes, these doors should start working. Ooh, actually no, they're not, because I don't have the automation connected up yet. Alright, there we go. Actually, no, I can't do that either, because then these bunker doors, even though they're not powered, they're still going to try and open. And that would be a disaster. So I'm going to do something like this for now. And then I can disconnect that. Once they finish this right here, I should get power. And nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? This turned on, okay. Here we go, now they're working. The little power symbol went away. Once the automation is connected up, then the doors will open, and we'll start absorbing some sunlight. Alright, they finished the automation here, so I'm going to deconstruct these ladders, and put the telescope back in. Well, since I have power to these doors, what I can do now is go ahead and launch these rockets. So let's see, this one was getting fullerene, and this one was getting the niobium. Yeah, okay. So I want to launch this one to make sure I get enough niobium to finish off all of these robo-miners here. Alright, I'll send you off. Make sure I close that. These doors are starting to open. We're gonna get our first batch of sunlight. This one's not working. Why is this one not working? There we go. So I'm missing an automation wire. Excellent. Now the maximum power output of a solar panel is 330 watts. So this one is gonna stop right. Is it 330? Maybe it's 360. I think it's 360. 380, okay. Third time's the charm. Max power from these is 380 watts, but the lux required to achieve that isn't as strong as the maximum lux, so you can partially cover your solar panels and still max them out. So you may see people making like triangle formations out of their solar panels, and that's so that you can maximize lux to power. So here, these are maxed out 380 watts. So as this goes closer and closer to the night, these will start decreasing in their power output. And then during the night, they're completely powerless. And then as it starts getting closer and closer to noon, they're going to max out before the lux maxes out. And so by staggering them, you get more power during the day. But that takes a lot of space, and I don't really have the space for... why did these open? I didn't close that. So let me do that. And then these should close back up. Actually, it should have been done here. Wait, now I'm confused. Oh, right, because these are on a separate power grid. So then, let me power these from here. Like that. And then... yeah, then that automation splice makes sense. So let's see what these are doing to my batteries now over here. These are still running, but if we look here... okay, I don't have a backup of petroleum quite yet. It's starting to back up in the pipe there. Yeah, now it's backing up. Okay. So we'll eventually store some extra petroleum here. These are really starting to help now. This is a good example now of the lux. So these are at 380 watts, even though we're not even at noon yet. And so we could theoretically get more power out of the solar panels. Well, unless the doors close. Because some of the lux that's hitting them is just being wasted. So you may wonder then why I don't put in the triangle or the zigzag of solar panels. And that's because I like using all of this space up here for everything I'm going to need in space. So I could use this space for the solar panels, right? Or I could use them for the regolith melter, which I plan on building. Now, if I put in the solar panels in the zigzag, so this is 380 watts right now, times, let's see, how many are here? So solar panels are 7 tiles wide, and right now this is 84, so 84 divided by 7. No, not to the 7th. Divided by 7, so that's 12 solar panels. Why did I close that? 12 times 380. So that's 4.5 kilowatts of power. Now, if I zigzag them by offsetting them by 4 tiles, the solar panels only take up 3 tiles. So we can do 84 divided by 3. That gives us 28 solar panels instead, times 380. I could get 10 kilowatts. Now, from the regolith melter, using the same amount of space that the solar panels take up, I can get close to 30 kilowatts. So, to me, it's much better to use this space for the regolith melter than to stagger the solar panels. Okay, well, that's great and all, right? But then why not just put the regolith melter down here, right? You could use this space instead. True. But I find it much easier to build and maintain the regolith melter up in space because I need to have access to the rocket exhaust, and I'm going to be dealing with super hot, basically magma, right? I turn the regolith into magma and then cool it into igneous rock. And trying to then put in a vacuum chamber down here to fit that all in is just a pain. I already have a vacuum up here, right? I might as well use this vacuum. And going through all the hassle to put in the vacuum chamber down here so that I can move the regolith melter is just so that I can get, you know, an extra 6 kilowatts from these solar panels, which is only 12% of the power of the Regolith melter. It's really not worth it. Alright, so back to the battery box now, since I'm still waiting for the rocket to return. I need more aluminum piping, so let me go down here. Let me queue up some aluminum here. Actually, I need to see how many I need to make first. So this is 32 times 4, 128, and then I'll need some extra, so I'll do 150. I'll queue up 150 aluminum. So divided by 2, that would then be 75 for each machine. Oh, not forever. What am I doing? 75. 75. There we go. Copy, paste. Okay. So we'll get that working. Then I can put in these pipes here, and then I can put in the pipes back here, and that should get this whole system here up and running. I still haven't decided what I want to make these batteries out of yet. I feel like making them out of iron would be what I would regret the least, because it's really easy to get more iron, but I just don't have enough at the moment. So I can continue with the insulated piping for now at least. So this will come over here, and then it will bridge over, go this way, bridge over that, come up here, and then right here, that's when it will switch to aluminum, and then it'll come down over here, bridge over, and then down into there. So bridge, 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 bridge. Actually, there's 2 errors here. I need this to come down here so that I can detect the temperature of the liquid inside the pipe. And similarly, I need to do that here, and then here as well. The liquid pipe thermosensor is going to go here, here, and here, and then that will tell these aquatuners when to turn on. So let me get some automation here. I can go over there like that. And this is how I do all of my aquatuners. I send it through a buffer gate. That way, if the temperature in the pipe is right on the cusp of activating them, it doesn't thrash on and off. So here, just like with everything else, I'm gonna need to put in a buffer. And I think the best spot for it might actually have to be in this turbine room up here. It won't fit on the sides, and it won't fit here. Yeah, I'll have to put it here. So the aluminum will come across, go to 1, 2, and then stop, and then take the bridges across. This rocket is 95% complete. I think once it returns, and I turn all of its niobium into thermium to extend this across, that will be the end of this episode. So that rocket brought back over 100 kilograms of niobium. Only 5 kilograms of niobium is used in the thermium recipe, so that will give me 20 batches of thermium, and each batch will give me 100 kilograms of thermium. So that's 2,000 kilograms of thermium, or 2 metric tons. The robo-miners cost 200 thermium, so that's 10 robo-miners, and this pattern here is 9 tiles wide, so 9 times 10, but that's 2 robo-miners per pattern, so 5 times 9, 45? 45 tiles? Okay, that will take me, wow, perfectly to the center here. Huh, talk about planning. Go ahead and put these in, and then that will give me access to more solar panels. Well, it won't give me access to more solar panels, but it will give my solar panels access to more sunlight. Alright, I'm going to put in the last 2 robo-miners here. That should complete this half. I've also gone ahead and sealed this up. I've got all of the piping here completed. So in the next episode, what I plan on doing is putting in all of the robo-miners for the other half over here, finishing off this battery box, and getting these steam turbines up and running with these aquatuners here. So the last thing that's left to do here is connect that up there. Connect that up there. Deconstruct, not that. Don't do that. Deconstruct all of that. And we're out of power. I guess that's also something else we're going to have to fix in the next episode. But unfortunately, that's all the time I have for in this episode. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.